Thank you, Mr. Kumar, for speaking to BloombergQuint. I want to start by asking perhaps the toughest question that you could be asked at this point about asset quality. It's risen to 16.27%, and that's primarily because a large number of slippages during the quarter. Can you break out that slippage number for us?
Yes, that is the toughest thing which we are facing, as you said, NPAs. If you see the slippages, there is about 2,300 crores of slippages and about 1,100 crores upgradation. So net there is a slippage of about 1,300 crores. This slippage of 2,300 crores comprises mainly of 1,400 crores worth accounts, which are about 25 crores. Noticeably among them is Videocon, which is about 530 crores. Then Monet is part about 320 crores. That's a SDR failed account. And it was a decision conscientiously taken by management that RBI wants that balance sheet should be cleaned up by March 17. So accounts which we thought would not be able to, though they may be short term, they may try to upgrade, but long term they are not going to sustain. We have taken the risk of classifying them into NPA, like Videocon is one of them.
So this slippage number, is it it's primarily because the management decided to make this call right now, and it has nothing to do with the divergence notification that the RBI came up with?
Regarding these larger accounts, Videocon, which I said we could have saved for 1 quarter, but we did not do that. Divergence total was 311 crores as per AFI. But out of which 2 accounts we had already classified before the RBI team came, because after 31st March 16, 2 accounts were classified. So actual divergence, if you see, would be around 55-56 crores.
Okay.
Because these accounts which I say were classified as NPA were classified somewhere in the first quarter of 16-17.
So at this point, your capital adequacy ratio is comfortably above that 11% mark. At this point, it's not a cause of concern, but then going forward with NPAs aging and the requirement for additional provisioning, capital is going to be a cause for concern. Where are you going to raise your capital from? How much? What is the kind of capital that you're going to need?
Capital, of course, is a cause of concern. That's the biggest challenge which we face today. We have taken approval from the board to raise 2,000 crores during this financial year in terms of equity, whether it's a preferential right or going to the market. So as you said, that's a big challenge, but capital is required, and we'll try to see whatever avenues are there to explore the market. We have kept a very modest growth of 5% in credit, so there will be around 82,000 crores by March 18. Secondly, we want to free up capital wherever it is possible, whether by recovery and return of accounts, freeing up the provisions, trying to manage our risk-weighted assets. So these are the areas where we should try to, first thing, free our capital, and secondly, raise capital from whatever source it is possible.
The NPA number has crossed 16%. That would actually qualify you for one of the thresholds of the prompt corrective action of the RBI. Has any notification come from the RBI yet?
No, not so far, but
But then you are going to go slow on growth. You're going to, like you said, you're going to cap loan growth at 5%.
5%.
What are the other measures in terms of branch expansion, in terms of hiring?
In terms of branch expansion, we don't want, we will not open any branch during this year until there is some exigency to open a branch. In fact, what we have done, we have identified about 51 branches which are in a close vicinity, and probably they can be merged. So those 51 branches, we are studying the business profile, the account profile, and we'll take a call on merging these branches. So we'll be freeing the number of branches which can be merged. Similarly, we are looking at loss-making branches.
Okay.
How to, whether we can minimize those branches or shift them to a better location so that they turn profitable.
With regard to the stress that still remains on the book, would you say that you've recognized most of the stress?
There will be some, I will not say the pain is over, there will be some pain still, but I think major accounts which were giving trouble have slipped, but there's about 300 crore worth accounts, about 6-7 accounts more, which may give trouble during this quarter, which we may not be able to upgrade.
So 300 crores has already slipped, you're saying?
They are at the verge of either slipped or very challenging. It may become difficult to manage them.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for speaking to Bloomberg.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.